Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm ZKast from ZK Research, and I'm inside Think Forum at IBM Think 2024 in Boston. I'm joined right now by Nick Otto. You're the head of Global Strategic Partnerships for IBM. Just a quick bio on yourself, and what does that job encompass?
First of all, thank you. Excited you were able to make it, and looking forward to this discussion. I've been at IBM for about 18 years.
That's a long time.
It's a very long time. Been in pretty much every part of the company, started in consulting, spent time in software, hardware. For the last 3 years, I've been in the ecosystem world. And for about the last 2 years, I've been leading these strategic partnerships as a part of the ecosystem mission. Our ecosystem mission, we've driven a lot of transformation over the last year and a half. We've really tried to clarify we have a sell motion, a service motion, and a build motion.
Okay.
Strategic partners are our largest relationships that cut across each of those pillars. There's 7 of them. 2 cloud providers, AWS and Microsoft, 3 ISVs, Salesforce, SAP, and Adobe, and 2 infrastructure partners, Cisco and Samsung. And my team's responsible for those 360 relationships across the full company.
Well, that's a big mandate. And I'm glad to talk to you because I noticed at this year's Think conference, there's a very heavy partner influence in this. In fact, he did a whole partner day ahead of the conference.
Right.
And why is IBM taking that approach to AI?
No, great question. I think, first of all, I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah.
We're very, very intentional. If I rewind back 3-4 years ago, Arvind has been super clear on our strategy. There's been 3 elements to it. The first has been hybrid cloud, which we've seen with Red Hat and everything we're doing with Red Hat. The second has been AI. And the third is ecosystem first. I think what's exciting about Think 2024 is we're seeing all of that converge. Our partners are here. We've got Shantanu from Adobe on stage with Arvind. We've got announcements across all of our strategic partners in the full ecosystem. And it's very much a part of this transformation we're all living through right now, which is clients are making lots of technology decisions, and we want to make sure that our technology works well with their technology, and we're able to pull all that together to solve bigger problems.
Yeah, and the reason I think that's important is when I talk to customers about what they're trying to do with not just AI, but IT in general, it's become a lot more complicated.
That's right.
And the industry has really left it up to the customer to stitch together all these different components.
Yes.
And that's not easy to do. And so I think your partnership model actually, in a lot of ways, masks that complexity and allows them to use best-of-breed partners without having those typical integration headaches. Is that a fair statement?
That is spot on. As Arvind said yesterday in his kickoff, which I talk to our clients and partners a lot about, we are very much looking to define our piece of the pie and make sure our piece of the pie works well with all the other pieces as the pie grows. That's a huge transformation of our strategy. We used to probably go after a little bit bigger piece of the pie. Our new strategy, exactly as you said, with the world the way it is, lots of different technology decisions, we want to make sure we're aligning with those different technology partners that are out there and being able to have our tech work well with their tech and solve bigger problems.
All right, well, let's drill down on some of these partnerships.
Yep.
And there's 5 I've picked.
Okay.
And although there's many more than that here. And let's talk about Adobe first.
Sure. Yeah, our Adobe relationship is incredibly strong and very exciting to me. As I mentioned, having Shantanu join Arvind is kind of a milestone moment for the relationship. We've been working together and have the 2 of them together for several years now. But what's so exciting over the last couple of weeks and what we just talked about yesterday is Adobe has selected OpenShift. First of all, kind of back to your point around this is more than just AI, as their platform for Adobe Experience Platform. And this is able to provide them hybrid flexibility to run that workload wherever they want to run it, different clouds, on-prem, public cloud, private cloud. That was a kind of a cornerstone of our relationship. And then what Shantanu shared yesterday is what we're doing together on AI, bringing watsonx into AEP, into Adobe Document Cloud, and IBM adopting more and more Firefly capabilities because our marketing team absolutely loves it. And what I love about that dynamic is best-in-breed capabilities kind of across the board and us all pulling in the capabilities that help us transform faster.
Yeah, that one really excites me. I'm a big Adobe user myself, and anything you can do to help content creators generate more content quickly is a good thing. We were talking actually before we started about how long that process used to take, but having marketing departments having to go to content creators, so that certainly scales faster. Now about AWS.
AWS is another really exciting one. Our relationship with AWS has grown exponentially over the last several years. We have a huge consulting practice with AWS. What really kind of kickstarted the broader relationship began with Rosa, so bringing OpenShift as a native service onto AWS about 2 years ago now was a huge moment in the embrace of hybrid cloud between our relationship. It's then just expanded from there. We then did an SCA to bring a lot of IBM software into AWS. We SaaSified a lot of it to run well on AWS. We just announced a few weeks back the expansion of our AWS Marketplace offerings now to 92 countries. Tremendous growth we're seeing there. What's really exciting to me about Think 2024 is bringing our now entire watsonx portfolio to AWS. We launched, we brought .data, end of last year we brought .ai, and just recently we brought .governance. And what's really exciting as well is we're not just bringing our capabilities to that marketplace, but integrating it with their capabilities. So a big part of the announcement was pulling together watsonx.governance and AWS SageMaker, and I think that's a huge element that we're seeing happen is it's not just about making sure our technology runs on your platform, it's making sure our technology works well with your capabilities, because as you said, clients are making a lot of decisions, we want them all to work well together.
Yeah, and if you want to scale and democratize,
yes,
no one does that better than AWS. So,
absolutely.
Again, shifting gears, but staying in cloud, how about the Microsoft partnership? What are the highlights of that one?
Yeah, Microsoft's another exciting one. I think back at our earnings just a month ago now, we released a really important evolution of that relationship, which was FinOps and bringing Apptio into Azure. Replatforming Apptio on Azure is a huge part of our relationship. Microsoft becoming a customer of Apptio to help manage internal IT costs, which is a really exciting kind of evolution in that moment. Think 2024, I think similar to what we're seeing with a lot of the news here, is all around AI. Bringing our watsonx portfolio to Azure, allowing customers to run customer managed instances on ARO, Azure Red Hat OpenShift, is a huge evolution in our relationship. Again, making sure that the capabilities that our clients want can run in the environments that they want to run it.
All right, and there's two others I want to call out. Salesforce.
Yep. Salesforce is a partnership I've been a part of for a long time. So I mentioned I started in consulting.
You guys have had a great partnership for
for a long time. I actually did Salesforce implementation work back when I was in our consulting team. What I'm really excited about, what we've announced just this week, is really three major things, all focused around AI. And to your point, kind of this democratization, making sure all the different AI capabilities work well together. First, we announced IBM is joining the Zero Copy Partner Network. So that's all around trying to stop the duplication of data when you're doing analyses and trying to get insights. Second, we announced Salesforce is joining our AI Alliance, which is all about trusted enterprise AI. And third, the part that I'm most excited about, we announced the intent to bring our Granite models into the Einstein 1 platform. And I think that that's something that we're finding really exciting. We announced the same with SAP just about a week ago, but being able to see our models, our partners' models, all these different models come together to help clients make the decisions that they want and drive the decisions that they want from an insight perspective is really exciting.
Yeah, one of the important aspects of that too is that there's not one model to rule them all.
Yeah.
Every model does things a little bit differently. Every model has certain strengths and weaknesses. And I think giving customers choice of models to analyze that massive amount of Salesforce data is critically important. So
you could be an IBM salesperson. You got it.
And let's round that out with SAP.
Perfect. No, I think your point there is so important. I mean, our strategy, which hopefully you've heard throughout the last few days, is open, hybrid, multi-model, making sure clients have choice to drive kind of the transformation that they want to drive. I think moving into SAP, I touched on bringing our Granite models into the SAP environment, but that's building on a foundation we've had with SAP now for 50 years when you look at that full relationship, but in AI over the last year. I think 2023, we announced watsonx powering SAP Start, one of their internal platforms. We announced at the end of last year, watsonx powering SAP Joule, the assistant that they have within the SAP platform. What I'm excited about is just that extension now to allow our models to work within their broader AI environment. So bringing Granite into SAP is a really exciting moment, and it kind of touches on all these different pieces. You've got embed, extend, all of the elements to help clients get access to what they want, embed capabilities into broader technology platforms and help our clients transform faster.
Yeah, it's crazy how much data companies have. And one of the interesting data points that Crawford Del Prep brought up in the Parton keynote was that 75% of the value of data is lost, 50% of the value of data is lost within days and 50% within hours.
Yes.
And so if customers can't act on that data quickly, then it loses its value so quickly. Right?
You're 100% right. And I think that gets back to your point around the importance of smaller models that can be run at the edge, and having that flexibility. If there's insights that you need to draw all the way up to the cloud, run a large analysis on, great, as long as you don't lose that insight time window, and it's something that we're helping clients really understand on a day-to-day basis.
All right, Nick, just one last question. So obviously generative AI, a huge theme here, as it is at every conference. I think customers are really struggling right now with what to do, how to use it. What kind of advice can you give the audience on, if they're thinking about Gen AI, what are a couple of steps they can take to make sure they'll have successful deployments? Yeah, no, great question, and you're spot on. I mean, every client I talk to has bought lots of tools, made lots of investments, run lots of projects. I think we're really at a moment right now where there's a shift from quantity to quality and value. I'm not just looking to run a lot of projects anymore. I need to make sure I'm choosing the right projects. Those projects I choose are driving value. So what is that business case that you're trying to achieve before you get started is a good way to prioritize those models. Building upon that, this hybrid flexibility, I might have models that I need to run at the edge, to your point, to make sure I can get those immediate insights. And then I think that the third piece I'd recommend is just to make sure you continue to think about open innovation. Hopefully, that's been a huge message here at Think. Us open sourcing our Granite models, open sourcing Instruct Lab, which is one of the most exciting things I've seen for a while. Making sure that innovation continues, I think, is a really important lesson for everyone to think about as they're putting together their generative AI strategy, to make sure it's driving value, can run anywhere, and is open. In fact, I'm glad you brought open. During Dario Gil's part of the keynote, he made a great point where he said, when you think about what open did for the internet, it's going to have the same impact on AI. I actually think it's going to have a bigger impact on AI. And I think, a lot of times vendors, let's face it, and IBM's done this in the past, not so open. But it's been proven over time when vendors collaborate and are open, that creates a rising tide where everyone wins. So maybe 100%. You don't get the whole pie, but you get an awfully big piece of a much bigger pie. 100%. That's, again, you nailed our strategy. Thank you. Insist on open. Insist on open, that's right. All right, Nick, well, certainly appreciate the time. Anything else you want to add? No, thank you so much. I'm glad you heard the message around open, partner, hybrid. You're getting all of it, so I really appreciate the time. Certainly loud and clear. So on behalf of Nick Otto, I'm Zeus Caravallo from ZK Research, and thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time on the next episode of ZKast. Thanks, Nick. Thank you. Thanks.